I want to talk about imagination today. Imagination is this really powerful force. Actually, I was talking to my son the other day, and he said, Daddy, the superpower that I want is I want to be able to bring into reality anything I imagine. And I said, buddy, like, that's a great idea. That's too powerful a superpower. If somebody could bring about in reality whatever they could imagine, it would be too powerful a superpower. It would give them unlimited control of this world. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit, because an imagination, your imagination, is your ability to create things that don't exist yet. And I want to hear me out on this for a little bit, okay? I used to watch, when I was in high school, I used to watch Star Trek a little bit, and I was fascinated by how this captain in a Starship Enterprise could look at a screen and talk to somebody from a completely different place. Real time, be talking across space. It was fascinating to me. Or how somebody could beam from one place to another place. And I thought, wouldn't that be cool if that could be done? Well, you know what? Other people thought the same thing. They said, wouldn't that be cool if it could be done? Using their imagination to imagine something that didn't exist, people were able to bring that into existence. We do that every day now. I do that on my phone, on FaceTime. Whenever I'm away for a trip, I'll read stories to my kids live, face to face, across the country, across the world. Doesn't even matter. It's amazing what we can do, and that came from an idea. Everything wonderful comes from an idea. Actually, I was reading something. This is a few years back now, but people are transferring electrons. Just as like the Beam Me Up Scotty kind of transported people, scientists are transferring electrons across the country, and that's fascinating stuff. That we're bringing these things into reality. My son said, "I want to fly," and what's your thought when you hear that? I'm talking to grandparents, talking to other people. People are like, "Wow, you can't fly." And that bothers me every time somebody says you can't. Why? Because humans keep doing things that you can't do. It's amazing how many times humans have done things that you can't do. People have said we can't fly. Well, guess what? The Wright brothers came along, bicycle mechanics, and then ended up figuring out how to fly. Now, some people might say, oh, well, you can't fly like by yourself, with sitting in something. Well, I was watching a video the other day of somebody on a hovercraft. Something taped onto their feet, and they're flying all over the place. They can fly 2 kilometers and twirl, spin, and do a whole bunch of things that looks like something out of a superhero movie. So what I want to first challenge you with is that I'm not going to say you can do anything, okay? I'm not going to say that. What I will say is that humans are far more capable, and you are far more capable than anything that you believe about yourself. And I'm dead serious with that. Humans consistently confound everything, and it's simply about believing that something is possible. I'll give you a really quick example. Roger Bannister is famous for being the first individual to run a sub 4-minute mile. That was done, I believe, in the 40s, and it's an amazing story because everyone was coming close to a 4-minute mile, but no one was going under because they didn't believe it could be done. Once Roger Bannister did it, and he believed something completely different than other people, then they were able to see that and start doing it themselves. So imagination actually plays a role in belief, and I'll show you how. If you can start imagining something, and talk to a lot of successful people, and you ask them, when did you first realize you were going to be an NBA star or whatever, sports, business, whatever it is, and they will often say, when I was a kid. I used to imagine myself winning this trophy or running this business or doing whatever. It starts in the imagination, and once your imagination starts running with something, your subconscious mind will actually believe it's possible. And not only believe it's possible, but actually believe it's true. And when your subconscious mind starts to believe that something is true, then you start reacting in a different way yourself. I'll give you an example. Henry Ford has a great quote. He said, whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. And it's true. If I told you guys, hey, gravity's suspended, everyone jump on for the next half hour, gravity's suspended, everyone can fly. Go to the top of your building and jump off. Would you do it? No, you'd be crazy to do that. Why? Because you believe it's impossible. And that's true. If you believe something is impossible, why would you try? Why would you waste your time and effort? But with imagination, you can actually, and this is a really cool thing, our subconscious mind has a very difficult time telling the difference between reality and fantasy. This is why you can wake up from a nightmare and be sweating or crying or wake up from a dream and be laughing or have different physical sensations. It's fascinating. And the reason why that happens is, again, because your subconscious mind has a difficult time telling the difference between reality and fantasy. If you tell yourself something enough times, you start to believe it. I'll give you an example. When I was young, I told everyone, I made up a story, okay? I told everyone that, I'm probably like, I don't know, 10, 11 years old. We'd spent the summer, or a bit of the summer at my cousin's house. They had a little dirt bike, and I told everyone that I jumped something like 20 feet in the air on my first time being on a dirt bike, okay? Now, logically, I know that's not true. I'm a fairly hesitant person with that kind of stuff, okay? And yet, I told enough people, and I lived out in vivid detail enough times that it actually created a memory in myself. Where today I can see myself jumping a really long distance on that dirt bike, even though I don't believe it was possible, okay? That I did that on my first time, okay? I gotta be careful with my words there, right, with the possibility. But I don't believe that it happened. I created a memory for yourself, and you can create memories for yourselves. Here's the cool thing with imagination. You don't only create past memories, you can create future memories. So just like that little boy or that little girl who's standing on some like Olympic podium or doing whatever in their childhood and they're dreaming about it, when somebody dreams about it enough times, you start to believe that it's not only possible, it's simply a matter of time. And you simply put in a little bit of work and it starts to happen, okay? So a couple of things. One, I highly recommend anyone read the book Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. It's a fantastic book on using your mind to actually start visualizing things and start improving things. This makes a massive difference in your life. I remember in high school, somebody told me, hey, you need to start visualizing. I was a long jumper and triple jumper, and somebody said, you need to start visualizing. Well, you know what, in grade 12, I wasn't even practicing. I went out and practiced like 3 or 4 times from between my regionals and before my provincial events. And over that time, I ended up getting second place or whatever without very much practice, but I was practicing in my mind constantly, okay? And I could see myself doing everything in my mind, and so my body reacted as if it was true. And again, people are going to be skeptical about this, okay? Talk to any athlete and you'll at a high level and you'll realize that they visualize all the time, especially the most successful athletes, okay? Okay, so I've had sometimes from certain people say, Mark, what if I can visualize the worst case scenario, but I have trouble visualizing the best case scenario? Here's what you need to do. You need to start practicing. So what I want you to do is start thinking about your goals, thinking about what you want, and I want you to visualize it going right. Visualize it going well. And do that over and over and over again. This helps with language. And when I was in China, I did this all the time. Before I went to a store owner, I would practice different scenarios in my mind, how they would respond and how I would respond. That helps you for the game. Practice what you do in practice, you're more likely to do in the game, right? So start to practice, start to visualize good things happening to you. It will be difficult in the beginning. That's the way it is, okay? If it was super easy, everyone would be doing it and everyone would be far more successful. So start practicing, start using this part of your brain. This is something that we have as kids, and often it's kind of beaten out of us over the course of school and childhood, all right? Another thing, some people say, Mark, what if, like, say I want to visualize something and I have a hard time visualizing it. What do I do? How do I practice? And here's what I would say to you. I would say, number one, what you want to do is bring past experiences that you have had and bring those into your visualization. So I'll give you a quick example. Let's say you want to visualize yourself living on a beach, having this beautiful home on a beach, okay? Or you want to visualize yourself communicating with somebody and then having a great relationship with that person, okay? I'll use these 2 different examples. So with the beach thing, well, do a past time that you've been on the beach, even if you've never been to, I don't know, Hawaii or Portugal or wherever you are visualizing. If you've never been there, that's okay. Why? Because you can bring a past experience on the beach and start thinking about it, okay? Some people say, well, Mark, I've never been to a beach. I go, that's fine. If you've never been there, if you've never been into a big house, or whatever, and that's what you're visualizing for your future, what you can do is start to watch more TV, watch a program about the beach in Portugal or whatever it is that you want to go to, okay? And as you think about that more, as you're able to use your mind to your advantage, you'll start practicing this and you'll get better at it very quickly. Once those initial like 5, 6, 7, 8 days are up, you'll start to do it better and better if you do this on a consistent basis. I told about a relationship. So what I want you to do is, if you want to visualize a relationship going well, a communication going well, what I want you to do is, again, visualize a time where you communicated really well. Again, if you don't have that memory, watch other people communicating well, from the stage, in relationships, whatever. And then what I want you to do is I want you to start practicing that in your own head. As you start practicing, as you start visualizing in your own mind, again, your body doesn't know the difference between whether it's true or not to a great degree. And what you will start to do is start doing things as if you've already lived them, as if you've already done them, as if you already have some confidence in them. You can actually build confidence in this way. And there are tons of great stories about this. I'm not going to give you any more right now. I've given you enough to kind of think on and chew on. Feel free to put some comments in, ask me any questions about visualization, about imagination. Imagination is extremely powerful, and I'll just finish with this. There is nothing on this planet that is human-made. Look around you. Look at that. I'm doing this on my iPhone right now, okay? I've got a computer screen in front of me. I'm staying in an office right now. I've got my vehicle outside. There are traffic lights, and there's so much around us all the time. Planes flying overhead. Everything that humans have accomplished began with imagination, began with an idea, began with a thought, and that thought blossomed, and other people joined in, and as that took place, we have created a fascinating world for ourselves. Is there destruction in our world? Are there other things that haven't gone well and that we're doing to hurt this world? Yes. But to blame imagination for that is crazy, or to blame technology for that, that's on us, okay? So forget about how it's going to turn out right now, okay? Set a goal. Look to what you want. I want you to start visualizing that and realize that you have a power in you, the same power, and this is not a word of lie, the same power that Elon Musk is using to develop crazy things around the planet right now, okay? Inventing things that people just don't think about very often, okay? And if they do, they don't act on it. Well, you know what? The difference is that he's got a well-developed imagination, and then he acts on his ideas. So, 2 things. Start imagining, start practicing them, and start acting on your ideas. And you will start to realize a lot of really cool things in life. Enjoy.